Alright beauties, so we've got a 60-minute yin practice today. I'm just putting on my amazing new socks. So I'm feeling like today I'm going to share with you some things that I actually do for my own sort of, I guess, my own management of my own practice, my own anxieties and what have you. And what I'm noticing, like just at the moment, because obviously, you know, we're in this phase of returning back to work or study or whatever it is that we've been not doing over the last couple of months, and you know, that comes with a little bit of overwhelm, like there's always catching up to do, and you know, the pressure's on, and it feels like that for me for sure at the moment. And so this practice today will be about really centering, so like getting right with reality and actually what needs to be done as opposed to what is felt that needs to be done, and just moving our nervous system back into that space of rest and digesting, so we're not in fight, flight or freeze mode. And what I usually find is the overwhelm for me puts me into either freeze or flight. So I either bail out or I'm just in paralysis. I can't think what to do next. So either way, they're not the most effective states to be operating in when things need to be done. So this is one of the practices that I guess I use pretty regularly in terms of just kind of moving out all the stuff that's feeling really heavy and getting clear on what actually needs to be done right now. And you know, more often than not, I usually find that nothing needs to be done right now. And most of the stuff that needs to be done is in my mind. And so, you know, like I'm learning when the overwhelm sets in and things start to get a bit mental, to just pause and, you know, take stock of where I'm at, like how I'm traveling, how am I physically, how am I mentally, and you know, that's often the times when we don't want to practice are the times when we really need to stop and practice. So hopefully this will help today. And if you're viewing this in our membership site, this is a practice that can be done anytime really. There's no rules with that. So you're going to need a block and a bolster, and always set up near the wall, like just so you've got that option. Okay. And then come into seated on your block. So you can either kneel or cross your legs. And close your eyes down, just let your hands rest in your lap. Just remembering at the start of practice, we're not here to move any thoughts out or get rid of anything or change anything, but we're just pausing to take stock. For me, when I'm overwhelmed, there's a real tension that sits in my belly. It's like I'm holding everything in, holding shit together. So what I would suggest over the next few breaths is just travel through your body and become aware of areas that just feel as though you're really holding on. So the main areas usually tend to be around the pelvic bones. This is like clenching. You might be holding your belly in, or just real like core tension, like deep in your belly. You might notice that your shoulders are hunched up by your ears, and as you start to breathe, they soften down your back away from your ears. It might be that your jaw is really gripped. The skin around your cheekbones is clenched. And then just over the next few breaths, start to encourage those areas in your body that it's safe to soften. Like it's okay. In a moment, we're going to blink our eyes open. And when you open your eyes, just take a look around the room, noticing what is in the room now in this moment. So you might notice the plant, an object, just taking in the space that you're actually in. And whilst you're in this space, nothing else matters. The next hour. So we're going to move into alternate nostril breathing. I'm going to get you guys to bring your left hand up like so. And bring your first two fingers down. It's like Handasana. Alright. And then put the last two fingers on your right nostril. Inhale through your left for as long as you can today. So don't need to count, just until you can't inhale anymore. And then close both your nostrils and hold your breath in, just again for as long as you can. Exhaling out through your right for as long as you can. Inhaling through your right. Close both nostrils, hold as long as you can. And then exhale through your left. Do one more round this way in your own time with your eyes closed. Once you've done your one round, change hands, and we'll change the nostril in which we start with. So right hand is up, first two fingers down, last two fingers cover your left nostril this time. We'll do the first round together and then one on your own. So this time inhaling through your right for as long as you can. Hold both nostrils for as long as you can. And then exhaling out through your left. Inhale through your left. Hold both nostrils for as long as you can. And exhaling out through your right. Do one more round in your own time. Resting both hands on your lap when you're done. Just a moment to take that in. Just noticing the shift of your attention. It's like, for me, a little bit more inward now. Open your eyes. So I'm going to give you two options for this next pose, simply because I can't decide. You can come into dragonfly, walking your hands forward into a forward fold. Again, you can always use the block, or you can sit upon something if that helps to elevate your hips. You can also do dragonfly on the wall. Something like that. Or caterpillar. So caterpillar, again, you can have a bolster at the back of your knees if you feel that's important today. Otherwise, just coming into the forward fold. So my main reason for choosing this pose is to get really grounded into the energy of the pelvis, which of course holds a whole heap of ground earth energy. When I'm in overwhelm, I'm not grounded. Like my tendency is to vacate, to exit my body, and I'm not in feeling. And so the practice that I usually do around, you know, managing overwhelm or anxiety, or, you know, those real, like, kind of icky, stressy feelings is always really grounding. So poses, I'll hold them for quite a bit longer. There won't be as many. But I generally, and this is something you guys might want to practice again at home and just pause the video, you know, like I stay until I am truly in my body. Sometimes that takes 4 minutes, sometimes it takes 15. But I don't leave the pose until I really feel as though I'm here. And so that sense of feeling where your pelvis connects down. What other elements of your body can you feel on the floor? And another way of me kind of managing that freeze, that paralysis that comes with overwhelm is, you know, using things that I know will downregulate the nervous system. So the breath in through your nose and out through your mouth is really helpful. Probably another few minutes to go today. And again, I'm just basing this on what you know, like how long I need to get into my own body. So you guys might even want to stay a little bit longer. But again, just keep coming back to checking in, like, where am I in relation to my body? Is my mind constantly outward thinking? Or are there moments where I'm actually able to be like fully in feeling, where my entire focus is on what I am experiencing here in this moment? You know, that takes such a practice of constantly catching ourselves not being here, and, you know, just gently bringing ourselves back in. Just start to ease on up. Slowly, slowly. Oh. And maybe help your legs together if you've been in the wide leg position. And then lay down onto your back, all the way down. And let the weight of your bones like really sink down. There's this heaviness in your body. And it's the kind of heaviness that helps you be here, not the heaviness of like stuckness. It's just real deep feeling. And then transition to one side. Come on up to sitting. So you have the option of doing half saddle or full saddle, just depending on where you're at in your practice today. Remember, you can always use a bolster or something makeshift to support. And if you know them, then just head straight in, and I'll let you guys know when you're halfway. So you guys that are half saddling will know when to change. So half saddlers, you start with your left knee bent and your right leg straight. Remember, you've got the option of a bolster there, so you can recline all the way down. Or you can go without a bolster, and again, experiment with where you put your arms. So you may have them out to the side, you may take them over your head. And then full saddle is both knees bent. So again, you can do the whole bolster thing if that's your thing. Otherwise, coming all the way down. To be another decent hold. Just kind of feeling into how long that needs to be. And again, you know, like I see a lot in class, like people just really want to be in saddle and they will do anything to get there, and it's this long, it's a really funny process to watch. It's like, and there's no judgment, like I've done this myself, like this fighting to get into the pose, and like a minute before we're due to come out, they surrender and go into a different shape. So it's like, if that's you right now, if you're like, I really want to get saddle, but it's just not working, choose another option, like choose half saddle and enjoy the time there. And again, there's this, you know, for me, it's like I love the feeling of this pose, partially because there's a lot to feel. And again, that's a really great way of getting back into my body. And then also because it really works the whole front line of the body. So all the major chakras run through there, all the major meridian lines. You know, and then we've got the heart, the emperor of the body. So it creates a space to open up energetically as well as physically. If you're in half saddle, there's about maybe 5 or so breaths before it's time to change. So I'll just let you guys kind of work that out yourselves. And so if you've not already changed sides, now is the time to do so. And then those of you guys that are in full saddle, this next second half might be a little bit more interesting for you. So again, just notice that, like, for me it's always like, oh, I just need to come out now, that's enough. And that thread runs through my entire life. It is not just on the mat. You know, mat's our biggest teacher because it shows us exactly what we do in terms of habitual tendencies. And so it gives us an opportunity to change that, you know, like we have awareness, firstly. And then secondly, we do something about it. Or not. You know, and if we don't, then it just keeps coming in the same old way until we do. These last minute and a half or so, just to gain that moving into the next layer of feeling in your body. So what can you feel? Where is it intense? Where does it feel really good for you? very, very gradually. Particularly those of you that have been in saddle, you guys might need to take even longer. Start to unravel yourselves. Saddlers, you may want to keep your knees bent for a little bit. I know I will, for sure. And just even that sensation of blood moving back through your legs, that's like, for me, it's a real anchor of here I am, I'm in my body, I'm feeling what is happening in the rebound or the phase change. And then eventually legs may straighten as you come into the full neutral place, as you uptake the changes happening internally. And then transition to one side. Coming up to sitting. I'm going to give you guys two options again. I like to practice like this sometimes so that it's more personal for you guys too. So the first option is supported fish, where you will be either over a bolster or a block, and I'll show you that in a second. Or you can do Sphinx pose coming into seal. So if you're coming into supported fish, the block runs either horizontally across your lower back. You can also run it vertically along your spine. Kind of want it close up between your shoulder blades. Remember, you can let your head just fully rest back. I'm going to use a bolster today, that's just my preference. And then legs are straight out in front, arms can come over or out to the side. So if that's not an option, or not what you really feel is calling you today, then Sphinx, you're on your belly, palms pressed, elbows under your shoulders, or seal. And again, you've got many different options with seal. Take your hands further forward, wider, closer to your body. Really have a play around with really what gets you into your body. Like what brings you here. And so once you're in, settle in again into the space that you're in today. So let that be the container that holds your body. And then if you're using a prop, that's the extra bit of support. So let the prop hold you. And then the entire weight of your body on the floor. usually by this point in the practice, there's a shifting in for me. Like, oh yeah, there I am. And sometimes that looks like real deep tiredness, like almost fatigue. So settle into what I'm really carrying. Okay, 5 more breaths. There's nothing to do in those 5 breaths. Everything remains as it is. But it's useful to know there's a few breaths left. If there's somewhere that's asking to let go, okay, my loves, slow, slow. Coming all the way up. And if you're resting either on your belly or your back, depending on where you've been. And a real deep uptake of the nutrients from that previous pause, like the gifts. setting up for, in fact, you guys can pretty much stay on your back. Set up for a spinal twist. So for me, I'm going to keep it really simple today. It's just going to be a knees to chest situation and then over to the left. But if you want to take a twisted roots or a supine or something else, that's cool. So bend your knees, shift your pelvis to your right, knees into your chest and over to your left. And then right arm, I like up by my ear sometimes. Other times out to the side. So it just depends on you guys, really. And then working with your knees relatively close to your chest. So let your upper back in between your shoulder blades. That whole area rest open. My little cat friends come in to join again today. It's really interesting watching animals practice. It's like they drop into the same kind of energy. Just using this particular pose to really feel supported by the weight of the earth, like the very deep center of the earth's core, and let that part of the planet hold your body. Okay, my loves, coming easily back through centre. Just extend your legs out for a few breaths to just integrate that at one side. And then changing sides, again knees bent, shifting your pelvis to your left this time. And knees over to your right. So again, experiment with your left arm, that might be up by your ear, maybe out to one side. And the knees close into your chest, that whole lower back area is open and able to receive. So, let your upper back relax. There's no effort in through your arms, you're not holding anything. And just let the whole weight of your skeleton, at the deepest let go. Okay, my loves, starting the transition back through center. Extending your legs out. Again, just taking the change. It's like feel what shifted internally. And then the only pause remaining now is final rest. You can take your legs up the wall if that's necessary for you today, or another variation that you might like. Sometimes I take Shavasana over a bolster, so the bolster is on my belly. I find that is a really good way, particularly if I'm wanting to get into, more layers of feeling. Again, just using this last little bit of time in Shavasana to really come into your body, just to be here in this moment. If you need to stay where you are, then by all means do that. Stay as long as you need. Otherwise, invite your breath in. And transition to one side slowly. resting in. Just keep your eyes gently closed. Just let your hands rest actually on your lap. Just have a few minutes to reconnect back in the space that you're in. And then anchoring into the energy that you've now got in terms of being grounded in your own skin. And then in a moment we'll blink our eyes open, just take in the space and then close your eyes again. Let's do that a couple of times, eyes blink open and then close. Until eventually your eyes are open, but you've still got a connection inward. And then bring your hands to your heart. Namaste.